Let's continue the American topic. You mentioned the attempts to kick Russia out of the global markets, the global system. In recent weeks, we hear all those calls from Washington to China, to India, to other countries, and they're putting pressure on them so that those countries would abandon the idea of purchasing Russian raw materials, energy resources. At the same time, you were saying how important it was to get united and about the experience of interaction between Russia and the US and how we need to restore full-scale relations. Necessity to restore full-scale relations between Russia and the US. And this week, to the surprise of many analysts and observers who daily deal with nuclear energy, there was this stats published according to which Russia is the largest supplier of enriched uranium for the nuclear fuel in the US. Considering the current format and level of bilateral Russia-US political relations, what's your assessment of the prospects of interaction between Russia and the US in this field in terms of supplying enriched uranium and in nuclear energy in general? Thank you.
Yes, I will speak about the possible tariff limitations on the trade of U.S. with our partners, with our trade partners with China, with India and other states. We are aware that they have counselors who, in their administrations, that this is the right economic policy. There are experts in the U.S. as well who question it. We have a lot of people here who question whether this will harbor any beneficial results. What is the root of the problem? And there is a problem. For example, let's imagine there are higher tariffs on the goods from those countries that Russia sells energy carriers to, oil and gas. What will this lead to? For example, Chinese goods will be less present, and then prices will go up on these goods on the U.S. market.
Or these goods will flow via third countries, and once again, prices will go up because of the deficit, and the logistics will cost more. If this happens, if the price is ramped up, the Federal Reserve will have to maintain the interest rates flat or up them to deter the inflation, and this will result in the deceleration of the American economy. It's not about politics, it's like a pure economic reckoning, and many of our economists believe it's going to happen. Same refers to India and goods manufactured there. It's the same as with China. So for the United States, the benefit is not obvious, and for the countries against which the threat was voiced, like for India, if India stops buying our energy, damage will be inflicted upon them, like to $9 to $10 billion if they decline to buy energy from us. If not, high duties will be imposed on them, and once again, damage will be there. Well, the same amount of damage, and why then decline to buy Russian energy to actually sustain political risks? And the Indian people will look at what decisions are made by the political leadership and never accept any humiliation. before anyone. And also I know Prime Minister Modi, he will never take any steps of the kind. So economy-wise, there is no point in it. With respect to uranium, well, it is actually kind of type of fuel. This is also type of energy for nuclear power plants. And in this case, a nuclear power plant is no different from those coal firing or furnace oil firing, etc., to generate power. And the United States buys uranium from us. And you've asked, why does it buy uranium from us and bans others to buy our energy? The answer is simple, and it was given back in the times of the Roman Empire. We all know the phrase, quod licet Jovi, non licet bovi. What is allowed to Jupiter is not allowed to Bull. Neither China nor India, even if we recall that in India cow is sacred, they venerate the cow. No one wants to act as a bull. However, in Europe, many of the politicians want to act as a bull or a goat or a ram. Will not point fingers, but this is not about China. It's not the case of India or China or any other major powers or mid-sized nations who respect themselves and will not allow to be humiliated. Well, as regards trading in uranium, this continues, and the United States is the #1, I think, power in terms of nuclear generation. I don't remember the exact number. Probably they have 54 power plants, NPPs. But in the overall energy mix, it accounts for 18.7% only. I mean the nuclear power. We produce and generate less, and we have fewer units, but in our energy mix it's also 18.5%, roughly the same proportion. But in the United States they have a well-developed nuclear power sector, and it requires a lot of fuel. We are not #1 supplier. You said we're the biggest supplier. No, this is not true. The biggest supplier is an American-European company, I forget its name, supplying 60% of nuclear fuel to the American market. And Russia is #2, supplying around 25% of uranium. Last year, I cannot recall the exact numbers of supplies, but we earned around 750 or 60 million USD in the first half of this year. We sold uranium worth more than $800 million to the United States. So more than $800 million worth of uranium, and as a result of the year, it's going to be 1.2 billion, more or less. So we can figure how much is going to be next year. Now we have had the backlog of orders to the tune of around 800 million. So the work is ongoing. And, well, they do that because, you know, it's the cost-effective option for them, and they're right in doing so, and we are ready to be a reliable supplier.